Welcome back to the Washington College Sports Spotlight Series. I'm Nick Lewis. Joining the spotlight today is Ellie Morrall, a two-sport athlete from Washington, playing women's soccer and women's lacrosse. Ellie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. So to start things off, obviously you have approached college athletics with a little bit of a unique perspective. Talk about what it's like, just sort of the day in, day out of going through a full year and being a two-sport athlete in Division III.
Yeah, so basically playing both soccer and lacrosse, I like train for soccer in the summer and then I'm in season all fall and then start training for lacrosse in the winter and then in season once again. So I'm kind of never in the off season, which is kind of different. And uh, I like it because I like being in season and playing games and competing. The off season I find kind of boring anyway, so skipping it's good with me.
So I guess I'm going to ask which sport was your first love, but you can also sort of expand on like how you got involved in playing both, and I
Yeah.
guess how you ended up playing both at Washington as well.
Yeah, I mean, I played both in high school, loving soccer way more. That was kind of my sport. And then I got to WAC and I started liking both equally. I'm not going to say I have a favorite because that's kind of why I play both. But both teams are so different and competing on both of those, like I wouldn't change it for anything. I love both of the teams, the coaches, and being able to do both.
Well, obviously, if we turn your attention to the women's lacrosse side of things, you were named the 2022 team MVP. Talk a little bit about what that season was like for you for the women's lacrosse perspective, and I guess just your experiences this year.
Yeah, I loved this season. I thought that we overcame a lot of difficult things through injuries and having like maybe a couple players as subs sometimes. And I got COVID, so it's been difficult, but I'm proud of like our team um, and what we were able to accomplish this year, making playoffs again and it being like 10 times in a row for our team, which is awesome. And yeah, I just felt like it was for me personally like a confidence builder, and I got as a junior I think I was able to like figure out my like place on the team and like what I'm good at, and being able to like utilize that I had a much more successful season compared to the other ones.
And then in terms of the soccer side of things as well, just talk about your year, some of the high points you had, and just how the season went.
Yeah, so I came into WAC as a midfielder for soccer, and then coach thought that I belonged on defense, so I've been playing both, kind of wherever he needs me. And it was also a great year. I think that I'm looking forward to this season too. I think we have a really great chance of making playoffs and like kind of showing the conference that we are a good team and that we're going to like kind of um, change what has been in the past. And yeah, so I think last season it was building up to what we're going to do this season.
Now, of course, it takes a special kind of athlete to be able to play both sports, have a full season, a full year where you're pretty much constantly in season, like you said. And you do come from quite the athletic family between your dad, John, playing baseball at WAC, for people that may know, and your mom playing field hockey at Denison. I guess what's it been like for you sort of coming up around, I guess, or in such an athletic family? Did that help you in terms of where you've ended up today playing two sports at Washington, and how did that sort of influence you?
Yeah, absolutely. They put me into sports right away. I started playing soccer when I was in kindergarten, and then I didn't start playing lacrosse till fifth grade. But both of my parents were like huge supporters in me playing, but they also didn't push me to one sport or the other. Because my mom played field hockey and then I chose soccer, and then she played softball and I chose lacrosse. So it didn't really matter that I didn't choose her sports. Like she loved coming to my games, and yeah, they have pretty much been the reason why I have come to play here. And of course, my dad showed me the school, so that helped a lot too.
So that was actually going to be my next question. Did you get into Washington first, or did Washington sort of reach out to you? How did that all play out?
Yeah, my recruiting process was a little backwards. I realized my senior high school that I was like, I actually do really want to play sports. And my dad was like, well, why don't you look at Washington, like a great school, whatever. So I got in, and then I met with the coaches after I had gotten in. So I was just like, hey, I might want to play. And they were like, well, we haven't seen you. Like I showed them some film, but like you can only look at that for so long. Um so yeah, they kind of just hope for the best with me, I guess.
So you touched on it a little bit earlier, but how difficult is that grind getting ready to play two sports each season? And do you feel like you have a quicker turnaround in terms of getting yourself ready, or does playing soccer help you get in shape for lacrosse and vice versa? Sort of, how do they play off of each other, and is that a little more difficult than some might realize?
It is difficult, and just like kind of maintaining like um basically like my endurance and that sort of thing is a lot easier playing two sports because I'm constantly playing both. So I think being able to do both of them allows me to stay in shape. But yeah, it's definitely difficult for me to switch. It's like kind of hard to explain, but like my brain. So I'm like, okay, now I have to focus on soccer like after lacrosse is over. And that's hard because like I had so much fun with lacrosse. And then going and now I have to train for soccer all summer. And then switching from soccer to lacrosse, it's difficult, but yeah, something to think about.
So obviously, last spring, looking at the lacrosse side, you were named to the Centennial Conference first team. What was that feeling like for you when you found that out?
I was I was surprised because well, my sophomore year I was on the second team, which I had no idea. I was like, there's no way that I thought I was gonna be on there, and then to be first team, I'm like in general just proud of myself for like how much I've improved since just being like a freshman who didn't play a lot to being on the first team. Um, so that was pretty cool, and I'm like proud for like how I worked for that.
So just to put a bow on things here, obviously looking forward to next year, what are some of the goals you have for yourself for next seasons, I guess, or next year in general, but whether that's for soccer, lacrosse, or both?
For soccer, I definitely want to focus on having a more like winning season and hopefully making playoffs, and then winning playoff games because that would be huge for our team. And then in terms of lacrosse, I would love to make the NCAA tournament, which we are close to this year. So just working towards that, and I think those would be two really awesome experiences.
All right. Well, Ellie Morrall, thanks again for stopping by the spotlight and best of luck going in the next year.
Thank you.